Morning and welcome to the Bullitt County Fiscal Court. It's November the 4th at 9:30 a.m. And EJ, Pat, EJ, would you mind coming up and leading us in an invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir?
Let us pray together. Father, we come to you this morning simply saying thank you. We love you, and we're so thankful for what you've done in our hearts, in our lives, and in this county. Lord, you are doing such a great work. And Lord, we see you this morning. As I woke up and took our kids to school, coming down 44, watching that sun begin to rise over top of our city and seeing that landscape, Lord, I just couldn't help but say thank you for creating such a beautiful place to raise up families, and to have friends and community. And I thank you for this fiscal courtroom this morning. I thank you for all the men and the women that are gathered here. I pray, God, for wisdom. I pray for clarity. And I pray for righteousness in our hearts to honor you in all that we do and we say. And I pray that you'd open up, Lord, their hearts and their minds to see the future. That we'd raise up a place in the community that our children's children can walk in and see. That they would be blessed. That doors would open that no man could shut. And you'd bring prosperity into this land, that you'd help us know exactly how and where and what to do. And God, you would just give that supernatural wisdom today. God bless them. Thank you. We lift you up. We recognize today we are only what we can be by your grace and your goodness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. EJ, thank you. And if you all want to hear more about EJ or listen to him on some Sunday, just drop down to the Field of Grace, and I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. Thank you, EJ. At this time, Sam, if you would call the court to order, please.
Yes, sir. Vera Sanders. Present. Sean Loxton.
Here.
Karen Johnson.
Here.
Brian Blamel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
All present.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from the October 21st, 2025 Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes October 21st, 2025.
I'll second.
Got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson, to approve the Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting minutes of October 21st, 2025 as presented. Sam, call the roll, please.
Logston.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Blamel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Treasurer's transfer report. Canan?
Yes, Judge, and those were dated for October the 31st, also for November the 4th for your approval.
I'll make a motion we approve the treasurer's transfer report as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by 4th District Magistrate Blamel to approve the treasurer's transfer report as presented. Sam, call the roll, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Blamel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logston.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Presentation and approval of all bills.
I make a motion to accept the presentation and approvals of all bills.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 4th District Magistrate Blamel to approve the bills as presented. Sam, call the roll.
Blamel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logston.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Guest speakers, Sheila Metcalf, and please be respect us for our 3-minute time limit.
My subject is our government officials who took an oath of office. If I sound kind of shaky, I've lost another family member last night. Miss Baker, I'm not going away. Mr. Summers, I'm not going away. You know why I'm here. It's about Tony Wilson and what happened in January last year. You all took an oath of office to protect the Constitution. our Constitution, okay? Our Fourth Amendment rights tells us that you have to get a warrant to go in our house to seize anything. Tony Wilson didn't do that. My brother, Tony Rodney Metcalf, he did things to me my whole life with his sister.
Ms. Metcalf, if you'll pardon me for the interruption here for just a minute, this was all settled in a court of law, and I don't think it's in our purview to be reviewing this.
It's my
So-
First Amendment right to talk about it.
And also, for the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, things are supposed to be part of the agenda here. This is not just an open forum to discuss civil law.
Mr. Summers, you should have contacted me last year when I set an appointment with you, and you've refused to do that.
Ma'am, I'm not here to debate that with you. If I received an appointment for you, we would have kept it.
I have the evidence. I made the phone call and I recorded it.
Good.
So, Mr. Summers, I want to advise you and this panel, you work for us. You work for me. I have the proof that I called you last year several times. Your excuse was your daddy was sick and you'd set the appointment. You never did. The other one was Miss Candy. I recorded, said Miss Baker read down there and laughed at you and said I didn't have no evidence. I do have evidence. I'm not going away. You work for us. You wouldn't be sitting here unless we voted you into this office, and we can vote you out of this office. Pardon me if I don't stay, I've got a few things.
Ms. Metcalf, it's my understanding you signed a voluntary release, and as Judge Summers said, it was settled in court, so we cannot overturn a ruling in the court outside of this fiscal court. So to point a finger at each one of us, I think, is the wrong thing to do, and it's not appropriate in this court for this particular situation. I would take it up with the other court, not this court. You're not going to get anywhere.
Here.
Mr. Summers is over top of our dog shelter. He refuses to remove Tony Wilson from his position. Mr. Wilson has been an employee of that shelter since 2008. Not one time. And Mark Harmon from
Why would we remove somebody that the court has determined that you were in the wrong and he wasn't in the wrong? We go by what's happened in the court of law, and you have actually.
I wasn't in the wrong. I contacted, Frankfurt. I filed
Anita?
judicial conduct against Judge John Kelly. They took me up on it.
I would continue to have your conversation with the other court, because like Judge said, you're not gonna get anywhere with us. We can't overrule, we can't overturn a court's decision.
Right.
And with that being said, you know, you're the only one that we've seen complaints about Tony. I mean, we've heard nothing but positive things since we made the changes, and I'm extremely satisfied with what the animal control shelter is doing right now. So I would take it up with another court, but not this court. And I say that respectfully, because it's just a waste of time.
Yep.
So, Mr. Harmon from Frankfurt, the auditor, continuously wrote up Bullitt County. The dog pounds are not writing up how much money they put in for the tags, for the dog that was put up for adoption.
I think your time's up today.
Yes, ma'am.
That's okay.
Yep. Anita?
Y'all can check it out on my YouTube.
Good morning.
Good morning, Anita.
You have your cheat sheet in front
Yes,
of
ma'am.
you. So I just want to remind you that it's not too late to register for next week's luncheon. Our speaker is the Secretary of State, Michael Adams.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 ribbon cuttings coming up between now and December 2nd, and they are all within walking distance of the courthouse. So I hope to see you all at those ribbon cuttings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Matt Johnson?
Thank you, Judge.
Uh-huh.
I'm here to speak on the bridge closure State Highway 1526 at the Floyd's Fork Bridge. I just have a couple of quick questions that you guys may be able to help us find some answers for. Has there been an alternative work schedule proposed by the state or to the state on behalf of the affected citizens of Bullitt County that might mitigate the duration of the closure? And the next question would be, has the question been raised or a study been conducted as to the economic and safety impact that will be felt by nearly all of the citizens of Bullitt County due to the massive increase in traffic resulting from the prolonged closure of a major thoroughfare that sees more than 20,000 vehicles intersecting the county daily? I'd be glad to give any of you guys my contact information or anything, if you guys could just speak on that.
Okay. Well, I'll be upfront with you, Mr. Johnson. We have talked to the Transportation Cabinet. They have a small window to fix that bridge. The bridge is in much needed repair. We wouldn't want it to collapse. The pillars are bad as well as the superstructure of it. Got some really good comments, apparently from Facebook to our side, in a really nice letter about fixing some of the other opportunities on Bells Mill Road while the bridge is fixed. So we're going to work on that aspect of it to where some of it is falling off the side. The state, to help you a little bit about how this works, we get X amount of dollars for a county of our size for maintenance for state projects. We get X amount of dollars for what we can do with our needs as a growing community for what I'm going to say infrastructure projects, East Blue Lick and the John Harper, Highway 245, Highway 44, and Highway 61. The bridges in this area are old. This is not going to be the first time we're going to lose a major bridge in this area due to construction. The Salt River Bridge is not much different. The one coming right here out of Shepherdsville, that's going to be somewhere around 2028 to 2029 as well. The only thing that's really saving it is the railroad bridge, because the railroad bridge, the way that we understand it, takes most of the debris, where the Floyd's Fork Bridge has no buffer. It gets hammered all the time with debris. So we have asked them for different opportunities, but they have a small window to fix this bridge. It was to help you, Mr. Johnson, in due respect here, it was a 200-day bid. Right now they're at 180. The contractor firmly believes he's going to have it done in less time because they get paid by the contract. And if it goes over the 200 days, then he has to pay the state. So, yes, it's all there. This is a written document. Yes.
It's almost a foregone conclusion that starting the project in November, it's going to be hammered with inclement weather and delays. And I understand there's a lot that goes into this.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, has anybody pushed back against the state as to alternative methods? Could the bridge be built next to the existing bridge before they close this one, just like they did the KOA bridge on 44?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than working a small crew on a single ship for 200 days, have they looked at the option of and I've spoken to Robert Watkins and other people that I know that have worked in the industry, there are many, many options to reduce the amount of time and the impact on the county. They could, instead of working a small crew, one ship, they could literally work 2 crews or even 4 crews, as explained to me by some bridge builders. That would cut the length of this project down from 6 months to 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of these questions been asked to the state? I know that some of these options may increase the cost of the project, but I think those costs would be absolutely offset by the economic impact that the people of this county are going to feel. All it's going to take is one little traffic accident between Lebanon Junction and Outer Loop, just like happens once or twice or 3 times a week now, and Shepherdsville and Mount Washington are going to be gridlocked.
Mm-hmm.
There's over 20,000 cars a day that cross that bridge.
Right.
We're going to put those 20,000 cars a day in Shepherdsville for 6 months?
and to help you with that, that's why we have, like I said, we have limited amount of dollars that we receive from the state. So if we take all of our eggs and put them in one basket, then we get nothing else through the rest of the county. So this is where we sit with it. It's a transportation department issue. It's a solution to a problem that's literally going to happen quicker than what we think. So the bridge needs to be repaired. And I appreciate your concerns and your time. And we have looked at it, but this is the best solution that we have. Thank you. Presentations, David Nemus, Animal Control.
Hi. Tony's out on vacation, so I was asked to prepare a report for you guys. I don't have copies. I can email you if you wish. Just grab me after this. I'm going to go over real quick some of the accomplishments we've had in the past year to 6 months. The successful move from our old facility on 545 Claremont Road to the current one at 3993 South Preston Highway. Our kennel attendant, Lily Mosley, returned from military deployment after a year in the Balkans on September 15th. We currently have one pending cruelty case that is ongoing. The charges were brought forth by Lebanon Junction Police back in May. The case has been taken on by the Commonwealth Attorney, to the best of my knowledge, and we currently have 4 dogs from that case that are being held as evidence in our facility. We have successfully, since the new fiscal year, completed 2 kennel inspections for commercial animal businesses and issued kennel licenses. We have started a partnership with Lucy and Oscar's Cat Cafe in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. That is providing us the opportunity to advertise and get more exposure for our adoptable cats and kittens, as well as providing us with additional space to house those animals. We have also added Nolan River Wildlife as an approved rescue partner. We had a wolf hybrid come into our facility recently. We were lucky enough to be put in touch with them so that we could place the animals safely into their care. It also gives us the opportunity to have a resource should we end up with a situation where there are exotic native type animals kept as pets. We have a pet food pantry that we have drafted and implemented. When we get donated food, we can assist the community if they're in a time of need. The pantry waiver outlines the parameters of the program, includes our limitation of liability language. We have participated in 6 community outreach events in the past year. That isn't comprehensive. I kind of had to go back and double check on all of that. I can go over all of those with you if you'd like, but most of them are either volunteer visits with groups like Fortna, or we participated in 2 events in Mount Washington, and there's also a couple of donation drives that we do at Kroger. We also have an additional community outreach partnership with Bigby Coffee in Shepherdsville. They host kind of doggy day out visits. Our volunteers will take an animal there. We do cross promotion. They are currently ramping up for a fundraiser. We have a donation account at one of our local vets, and every $1 for a full price drink will be donated to that veterinary account. We also have secured a couple of discounts from local pet vendors for adoption. Bark and Bubbles across the street from our current location will do 10% off grooming services, the dog training camp 10% off their training packages, and East Bullitt Animal Clinic 25% off a new pet exam. As far as data goes, we have generated $11,105.72 in revenue from the beginning of this fiscal year to present, $781.05 in donated revenue. We have impounded year to date, and to date is October 31st, 554 animals total. That's 215 dogs, 338 cats, and 1 ferret that we impounded as a bite quarantine. We have, since moving to the new building, impounded 201 animals, 75 of which dogs, 126 which of cats. We have processed 511 live outcomes Year-to-date, 178 since moving to our new facility. That's a 92.7 live release rate, which is considered no-kill by industry standard. 155 of those live outcomes were adoptions. As of the end of October, we have 29 animals in our care. Year-to-date, 786 animal control runs. I have those breaking down on the report if you guys want to see that. And then we have also in community assistance given out approximately 468 resource guides through email, and the pet food pantry, since we implemented our waiver, it has been utilized 82 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate this report, very thorough, shows exactly what you all are doing right there, and I hate that, one person kind of tries to cloud everything that's positive that's going on, over at, Animal Control, and the new building, all the new partnerships, the new rescues, everything that y'all are doing, just keep up the great work.
Thank you. And just in case you guys want to see it.
David, on your complaints, your cruelty complaints, do you file them with the courts?
Since we don't have citation authority, like we can't actually issue the citation, we do have to rely on law enforcement or the county attorney's office to actually do that. But we do the initial report and the investigation.
How come you all can't do citations?
That's been away from our agency since before I started, and I think it's 2 directors previous that was taken away. So I can't give you I have hearsay as to why that was taken away, but I don't know for a fact. So, then the waiver for that food pantry. And I just passed out. That's our current system breaks down the number of animal control complaints by job type and zip code. The zip codes that are out of county, that's when we have an owner reclaim or something similar to that. We put it in briefly so that we can report the situation to the relevant county shelter, and then we close that report out. So if you have a question about why it has like Bowling Green on there, that's what that is.
Well, I've been noticing things that's been on Facebook of things y'all have done, and sounds like y'all doing some great things there.
Appreciate that.
With the animal shelter. I did stop by one day last week and made a visit, and I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Of the new building and how y'all were running things.
Thank you. I'll let the girls back at the shelter know that too.
Thank you. Grace did, I think her name was Grace.
Grace.
She did a great job taking me through a tour.
I'll let her know that you gave her some compliments.
Okay, thank you.
David, I would like to get a copy of that.
The report, I can email it to you. 'Cause
We've
I
got,
don't have it
we've
right
got
now.
copies.
It's in the package.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool,
We
thank
had
you.
a copy of everything.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anything else? Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, David. Tony? Where's- Logan Spalding. Hell, I'm sorry. Come on, Logan. Come on up here. Yeah. No, you don't have it. You got it electronically. You should have.
He said he emailed.
I'm your building official. I'm not a ghost like everybody kind of accuses me of being. I just keep a low profile. A few months ago, we made some changes over in building codes, and I was reading through what the statute says for the building code implementation, and magistrates and the judge and deputy should have a copy of that. Section 103 states that creation of enforcement agency, the Department of Building Safety, is hereby created. I'm requesting that we change code enforcement's designation to building and safety based on that statutory allowance. I know there's been some reservations made or something, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about us wanting to do that. My personal opinion is it's in line with statutory guidelines for the building code, and also it's a little easier for people to relate to building and safety than it is to somebody coming and doing code enforcement. So there it is. What kind of questions do you have?
It's just a change of the title, basically,
Yes, sir.
from code enforcement to building official.
To Department of Building and Safety.
have no reservations with that. Anybody else? Well, I'll make a motion. Do we need a motion on that to make that change?
That would be much appreciated.
I'll make a motion that, is that gonna go, I mean, that's gonna change pretty much moving forward. Everything from code enforcement now is gonna be Department of Building and Safety, is that correct?
Yes.
So any paperwork?
Administrative code to reflect that.
Yeah.
Okay. Will that change signage and everything else moving forward too?
It should, yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah, it'll change it.
the name of the
Yeah.
Change the whole name of the department moving forward,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Not just something, okay.
Right.
Well, I'll make a motion that we change, code enforcement to the Department of Building and Safety.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Second District Magistrate Logston, a second by Third District Magistrate Johnson to change code enforcement to the Department of Building Safety. Building and Safety. Sam, call the roll.
Did you say the Department of Building and Safety? Make sure I got that
Will be
name.
the
Yeah,
Department or
The
Department of Building.
Building
and
Safety.
Like it reads in the 103.
Right.
The Department of Building and Safety.
No, Building Safety.
This is building safety.
Buil-
Building safety.
no, there-
No, and Department, Building Safety.
Building Safety, there's no and, Sam.
Building Safety.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure I got
I
it
did
right.
the same thing.
That's Logston. Judge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Judge Summers?
all right, yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Lemo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And for those in attendance, Logan is our Level 3 inspector, one of the highest ranked in the state, and probably the most well-respected.
Thank you, Judge, for that.
You're
Well, I
welcome.
got you. Does anyone have any questions about the department? I mean, you're always welcome to come ride with us or stop by any time, and I'll explain how the inspections and how the procedures work. I'm more than happy to impart any information I have to you at any time. I'm easy to find. You just got to call that cell number.
Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you all.
Greatly appreciate it.
Have a very good day.
Keep
Thank
them
you.
safe out there.
There you go. Okay. Thank you, Logan. Under old business, the health insurance for the county employees. I'm going to put that in the form of a motion to improve the presentation presented by Mr. Brown at the last fiscal court meeting.
I'll second.
And I have a second by First District Magistrate Sanders. Sam, call the roll.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Lemo?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Also under old business, the enterprise fleet management. We had quite the healthy discussion about that and lots of opportunities for since the last court meeting to this one, and from October 21st till today. And I'm going to put that in the form of a motion as well.
I do have some comments.
If you get a second, you can discuss.
Right.
Well, I'll make a second then.
Okay.
So, I spoke with Mr. Yee yesterday for a long time, very informative. I met with Tammy, I spoke to Walt, just about different things. But I really think we have too many vehicles total. We have, I think, 60 plus in our fleet, and 36 are leased vehicles. On the presentation he gave us last meeting, it was said 41, but some of those that were in there were ones that we own. They just happened to be, I guess, in that line item or something. But he's looking to replace 24 of the 36. But I was just asking about the lease, and he said open-ended, no penalty to get out of it early or anything. I feel like myself that if some of these on a lease would probably be okay, like the higher mileage vehicles and stuff, because you don't want to keep them forever. Some of them have 104, 103, 90,000. But some of these also only have 15, 20,000. And So there's a lot of life in them, and I know there's still a lot of value, but I think these ones that have a lower mileage, we would be better off in the long term if we owned those vehicles, whatever department they may be in, compared to maybe kind of leasing some of the more used vehicles and some of the ones that are not used as much. Look at purchasing them. And because, you know, some of them on here got 15,000, 25,000, 33,000 in their 2 and 3 year old vehicles. So there's still a lot of life left in those, and I understand there's a value to them. But when Mr. Yee was here, he said, you know, they go and they use our state contract pricing to purchase the vehicles, and then they lease them to us. And he said the maintenance is included, and that for the 36 vehicles, we pay $22,771 a month, which broke down to $632.53 a month. But when I went through the register that we have paid Enterprise for the last quarter, so it was from July to the end of September, for that quarter we paid, it averaged out to $25,246.74 a month, which was a difference of $2,475.74. And I saw some of them have like a payment of $680.55, so I assume that's a lease payment of one vehicle. But then on some of them, they have a payment of, say, $2,333, and this is for a month. So I'd assume that's probably 2 or 3 vehicles. And then below it's $169.95. So I don't know if that's another maintenance charge that's headed to that vehicle or exactly what that is, but since this is an open-ended, no penalty, and some of these have already been extended because he said if we don't act on them, you know, they just carry over for another month or another couple months or however long that is. I was wanting to see if we could kind of form a committee or something to look at possibly working some back into a purchase program, not the whole thing and not going at it all at once, because I know it'd be a great big amount of money. So that's kind of my thoughts on that, and so that's the research I did on it.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't do any research on it. I did talk with Brian on this. However, Brian, there was one thing I was wanting to find out. How many other vehicles that we would be giving up the lease for that has low mileage?
So I didn't break it down, but so would you say there's 1, 2, there's 14 on this list that have less than 40,000 miles. About 1, 2, 3, 5 of those have from 30 to 39,000. So about 8 or 9 have less than 30,000 miles, and they're either a 21. Some of them are a 22. A couple of 4 of them are 22s.
I guess a question that raises to me, and maybe you can answer this, Judge, but if we do not go with the lease, let's say on 14 because of low mileage, what is the amount that we have to pay for those vehicles to purchase them back?
Okay, so,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense, but when you look at that mileage, it's close to the warranty running out on them.
Right.
A fleet of the size that we have and the maintenance that's required on them, the employees get out, they have a great vehicle to drive. We don't have to worry about maintenance on them. We get equity. We got almost $500,000 worth of equity in these 24 vehicles, which goes towards the next lease. And from where I sit, the day we walked in the door, I went out and got in the truck with the assistant foreman. It barely ran, and Brian was an employee at that time. It had a slick back right tire because they couldn't afford anything and was completely wore out, along with every ambulance, most of the dump trucks. We had signs in the floorboard of the dump trucks to keep the water from coming up into the cab or whatever it is. We're in a position now to where we don't have to do maintenance. All we're going to do is degrade it, because you're going to be right back in the same spot in 3 or 4 years by buying vehicles that's going to have wear and tear on them. Then you're right back in the same spot that you were. I think it's not fiscally responsible to go back into like vehicles, purchasing them. Cities of Shepherdsville, Hillview, and Mount Washington all use the lease agreements for their light vehicles as well. When you talk about triaxle dump trucks or ambulances, those are assets.
I just know
Light
leasing.
vehicles aren't.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just know
I'm trying-
leasing would not be good for me personally, but I'm not saying it wouldn't be good for our county.
It's good for fleets.
That's-
I would, like, I was one that voted for this when we came on board, and I'm a huge fan of this. I would lease personally, but I drive too much. That's the only thing that keeps me from leasing. If I could have a brand new, my car I bought in 2019 new, and I'm gonna try to hang on to it. I'll be honest, it's not even paid off yet. I got a little bit left to pay it off. But by the time I get it paid off, I mean, a vehicle, I do 3 car auctions a week. A vehicle is one of the most depreciating assets there is. You go buy a new truck for $80,000. When you pull it off the lot, you might as well say it's worth $60,000. I mean, so when you look at this, and it's not always about the miles even too, because some people really brag sometimes, well, this is low miles. But yeah, it's 10 years old. It's got 10-year-old belts. It's got 10-year-old this, 10-year-old that. Just because something's low miles sometimes can be just as bad as something that's not being driven regularly and serviced. And so I'm a big fan of the lease. I'll just kind of throw that out there because I feel like, you know, the depreciation of owning a vehicle is one of the worst things. You could really brag that you own a vehicle. And then with these vehicles are always under warranty. If something happens, you know, when they start to get high miles, that's when they get replaced. You can always budget from a budgeting standpoint. You know exactly what you're going to be looking at per month for those vehicles. If you own something, you don't know if you're going to have to spend $60,000 next month because the vehicle's going to have to be replaced. And I think, again, like the judge said, I love the fact that the morale, when we did come in, I came in the same time he did. I mean, we had vehicles that were different colored. We had red vehicles, we had white vehicles, we had red vehicles that looked pink because they were so faded, and just having that consistent image. And I know it's the taxpayers' money, and we got to be prudent about how we spend that. But I think I'm a big fan of it just because I think the image looks good. I think you've got a nice new vehicle on the road. We're not spending those astronomical repair bills, and then from a budgeting standpoint, you know exactly what you're looking at each month. And I'm a fan of it. That's my 2 cents. So, but I do agree that the hybrid model does work. You know, when you look at ambulances and dump trucks, there's certain vehicles that does work to own. It's more like a hybrid model. Not 100% of our vehicles are leased. But I think that even the ones with the low mileage, that's the whole reason, you know, that we're leasing those. Those will be replaced. And just because they got low miles, that doesn't mean necessarily they're not going to have issues, because, you know, a vehicle, you know, can definitely need repairs after a certain point just because the miles are low. The age plays just as much a factor, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I do have one more thing. Like I said, I think we have too many vehicles total. And I'll just use, like, I checked with the road department. They have 11 lease vehicles and 5 owned vehicles. And some of these vehicles are 14s, 18s, something like that. But they only have 15 full-time employees. So, and then some of them, most of the time, are driving equipment, dump trucks. So I would like for us just to look at, maybe we don't need to replace all 24. Maybe we only need to replace 20 or 15 or something. That's kind of my thought. I would just like to see if we could take a little more time and just see how many, I don't know Robert was here, but he had to go to work, but everybody over there pretty much has their own vehicle. And another thing, we have a lot of take-home vehicles now. Now they have 4 take-home vehicles at the road department. it's something else we need to kind of look at, you know. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
And that's something I've always been concerned about is the amount of vehicles that we have. I've always wanted more of a breakdown and checking into that more too, so I agree with the numbers. Taking a look at the overall. One, two, three for code enforcement, which of course now safety, building safety.
But I do understand, like I said, the high mileage vehicles, like that's the Explorers for EMS, you know, the paramedics drive to follow the ambulance in case they have to break off. And I think those, like I said, that's 103, 104, and 90,000. So
I think we kind of got two things on the table, though. One's the determination of whether the lease vehicles are necessary, but then the second one is, you know, the take-home policy is entirely different than whether you want to own a vehicle or lease a vehicle. That's a whole nother issue, in my opinion. I mean, that doesn't necessarily fall hand in hand. That's a whole separate issue, whether you're going to have the vehicle when you go to work, and whether you take it home or not, that's a whole different story. But I think that's an entirely different issue than actually making a determination whether you buy a vehicle and own it or you lease that vehicle.
well, I agree to that. I
And I believe
was
the
just kind
judge
of
is
saying
working on it, on the take-home.
Take home,
vehicles.
right,
So I did ask for that to be done.
yep.
Just haven't completed it.
Yeah, so any other discussion? Okay, so Sam, if you'll call the roll on a vote to approve the fleet management.
Boston,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flamel,
no.
Judge Summers,
Yes,
Sanders,
Yes.
motion carried.
thank you. Tammy, first reading, Charlie. First reading, public hearing is zoning ordinance 2526. Ryan and Jennifer Sago.
Planning docket 2025 Z46, Ryan and Jennifer Seago, seeking to rezone from Ag R1 and R2 to Ag, located on Nom Creek Road, parcel 018-000-00-055 in unincorporated area of the county, 20 acres more or less, and the purpose is for agricultural use and building a residence. Comprehensive plan calls for agricultural, rural, residential. The Bullitt County Planning Commission pursuant to provisions of KRS 100.211 held a public hearing on October 9th, 2025. Based upon the testimony at the hearing, the Bullitt County Planning Commission finds the map amendment is in agreement with the community's comprehensive plan. Based on the testimony received, the Bullitt County Planning Commission recommends this zoning change be approved and sends a favorable recommendation to Bullitt County Fiscal Court.
Thank you, Charlie. Tammy?
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 25-26. An ordinance relating to the changing of zoning of certain property from agricultural, R1 residential, and R2 residential to agricultural. The property in question is 20 acres more or less, located at Knob Creek Road, parcel number 018-000-00-055 in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said zoning change, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed zoning change is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2025Z-46, is hereby changed from agricultural, R1 residential, and R2 residential to agricultural. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be effective and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 4th day of November 2025, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 18th day of November 2025.
Thank you, Tammy. Anybody here to speak for zoning ordinance 25-26, Ryan and Jennifer Seagull? Hearing or seeing none, anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 25-26, Ryan and Jennifer Seagull? Charlie, first reading and public hearing of zoning ordinance 25-27, Arbor Homes in the city of Hillview.
So Arbor Homes has proposed a text amendment adding an R5 zoning with the support of Hillview. It would allow for 50-foot lot width, a 6,000 square foot minimum lot size, with a front setback of 25 feet, a side of 5 feet, and a rear setback of 25 feet. There will be an open space requirement of 20%, and this would only be for single-family dwellings. Based on the based on the testimony at the October 9, 2025 Planning Commission hearing, the Planning Commission sends a favorable recommendation. Text amendment is a little bit different from rezonings. You don't have to take action if you don't think it's suitable for the county. It can sit here and it can come back at any time in the future if you do think it's appropriate. Obviously, this type of development is going to require sewers, so county doesn't have sewers, so it's somewhat of a moot point, but it's your decision on whether to enact it in unincorporated area.
Right. Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 25-27, an ordinance relating to text amendment 2025T-01, creating a new R5 residential zone. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said text amendment and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter without the said minutes, and determines that the proposed text amendment is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that text amendment 2025T-01 attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as set out in full is adopted. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 4th day of November 2025, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 18th day of November 2025.
Thank you, Tammy. So, Charlie, for clarity, for one more time, what we're doing, we're constricting the size of the properties
So
for the county.
So this is allowing it to be the
Reduced.
smallest lot size that we would.
It would be a new zone, an R5, where right now we have R1, R2, R3, R4. This would be a completely new zone, and the lots would be very small.
And that would require sewers because there's no way you could
I think the
do
health
septic.
department requires 3/4 of an acre for septic system right now, so this lot size would not be conducive to that.
So I guess rhetorically, my question is this, is that
Realistically, this type of development would always have to be annexed, so.
Into a city, yeah.
and it would be Hillview, right? Of which
Currently,
there's,
the first one we have coming up is in Hillview.
yeah, and that's okay. But in the city of Hillview, it's under moratorium right now too as well. Unless it's on the Blue Lick side.
So it's on.
Not Blue Lick, I mean,
It'd be
Coral
Penrun-
Ridge.
The Penrun Golf Course is the rezoning that's coming up. So it's on the- it's on
And
the
it-
Judge's-
Mine's already been,
Yeah.
Actually,
Jefferson County
this
Board.
location is at the corner of Knob Creek and Brooks Hill Road.
That one's for the rezoning, the CEGO rezoning.
There you go. So,
This is the 25-20.
So, yeah, so you won't have the rezoning that's coming up for this one, because it's only gonna be in Hillview. So Hillview is gonna be the one that will hear the rezoning. But the rezoning is on the Penrun Golf Course they're proposing.
yeah, that's what they're wanting to build there.
And like Charlie said, you don't have to do anything with this. If you want to approve it, we have to do it by ordinance. That's why we did the first reading. But you can, like you said, you can let it sit and it does not take effect by operation of law like a map amendment does. So you don't have to take any action if you don't want to.
Yeah, and I guess from where I sit, we've got a $28 million EPA grant sitting in Atlanta right now for MSD in the north end of the county, and a $9 million grant for MSD sitting in the Speaker of the House. And if this is going to require sewers, that's going to be a while. If it's in Bullitt County, unless they're planning on running sewers in the Jefferson County. It's going to go to Jefferson. Thank you, Jim.
And this is, to my knowledge, this is already allowed in Jefferson, so this would be roughly half of the development would be in Bullitt, and the other half would be in Jefferson.
In Jefferson, like, okay. And we'll get that tax revenue then, right, on our half? I've been through them lines with Kevin for the last Humpty Dump, that whole area up there.
Since this, affects or is involving the city of Hillview, is the mayor you have any feedback on this? This is the first time I've seen this reading.
Well, so they can pass it on their own, and so I think they've
Okay.
already done a resolution, which, I don't know.
So you all,
But so, you all don't have to
This
pass
is
it for
a-
Hillview to be able to do it. Hillview
yeah,
is
but
taking care of it.
have you already made this?
Yeah, if you go down Cedar Creek Road,
Yeah.
there's a county side. There's a subdivision, I can't remember the name of it, so if you go down, take the left in Mount Worth Road, first subdivision on the right, that is R5 zone. Louisville already has R5 zoning. And the purpose for the R5 zoning is to build more houses on small lots.
Yeah.
But it's also to price them where these kids, our grandkids, belong beyond their full home. Everybody knows homes are going to be very important.
Okay.
These children are cheap, they'll be $300,000, but
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, I hate to say it, I will say too, good cheap time. It's really sad, we've gotten to that position in life, but this way will give our kids and girls, kids and grandkids, whatever, a chance to be able to get home. The lots aren't very big, but it does look that bad if you get a chance to just drive down through that subdivision and see what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at that too myself. This one, and can this be something that can be like spotty? Like, since this one particularly part of it is in Jefferson County? My only concern is, like in my area, Mount Washington is so congested right now, and even with the houses are, I mean, you can literally feel like you can touch them as it is, and to make that even, shrink it down even more, that would be my major concern, is the ongoing calls that I get in my particular district, is this the congestion, overpopulation in such a short period of time. My biggest concern would be, it seems like that there's so much flexibility right now to just build so close as it is, to even shrinking that would be my only concern. But considering Jefferson County's doing it, that area that we're suggesting here, when part of it is in Jefferson County, part of it is in Bullitt, feel like and I haven't had a chance to digest this, it's only the first reading, but I feel like that, there could be an exception in my mind for that particular area, but I don't know that I necessarily want to see this all across the county just because Jefferson County's doing it, because that's why people like and love Bullitt County, is they don't want to be Jefferson County. So just because Jefferson County's doing it necessarily, I don't want to suggest that it's something that we should follow the lead on. And this is all new to me, so I want to look into it a little bit more. But I definitely would like to drive through that subdivision to see, but I'm just really, really concerned of cracking the door, opening the door to build more houses on a smaller particular piece of ground, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Do you know if on Mud Lane, that new subdivision towards Blue Lick, is that R5? Because you don't travel that road often, and just seeing from the first houses that you can see, they're on top of each other. But that's not really any difference than a patio home. I mean, those homes are joining you know, if somebody wants to live in a patio home or even in an apartment, you know, don't have any yard, that's up to them, but
You know, unless we go to, everybody can only have 1.5 kids, we're gonna, families are gonna continue to grow, Bullitt County, because they're gonna be in Bullitt County, is gonna continue to populate, and the thing that used to be country is not gonna be country.
Yeah.
We're growing.
Right.
And with those growth, we either got to say, okay, we can place to live, or we're gonna let them all go to Garrett County and live and try to move over. I mean, I just think.
Sounds like a good idea. I'll go to Jefferson.
So, Sean, I was the same way like you are. I didn't like the idea of, small lots. But then I got to think, you know, ain't that many, about the kids that are coming up in the future. So we're gonna get them a place that they call home, and call their own place to live. And that's what we look at as a group of doing, that's why they decide to do it. You know, I understand whatever you all think, your decision on, absolutely, but you don't want to.
And from a health department standpoint, we feel like it's sufficient to withstand that type of, what size are we going to again, exactly?
6,000 square foot minimum, which can be 7 houses per acre. If you do the math, 43,000 square foot.
And where are we at right now?
We're at like 0.23 or 2.5,
Our
4.
Our 4 allows for,
Just to break it down, like, let's just say
7,000.
ballpark, and I'd like to hold you to it, but if you had an acre of ground right now, how many houses, you know, could you put on an acre?
I think our 4 allows 7,000 square feet, I think.
Okay.
My opinion, if the cities want to do it, they're going to annex the property because they can corridor annexation. They can take whatever. And it says the lot width, minimum 50 feet, and then a setback of 25 front and rear and side of 5. So I don't really see how you fit that in that tight, but in my opinion, it should be a city issue. It shouldn't even really be a county issue because if they have to have sewers, the county doesn't have any sewers. So
Right.
I'd say we just sit on it, and if the cities want to do it, they annex the property, and they can do their own, we can do ours. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, and as joint planning commission, it goes to everybody, and it's everybody's decision. So
Yep.
Hillview may very well be the only one that enacts it,
that
and that's would be for us to keep up with.
Okay.
But we had Mr. Johnson speak about congestion, traffic, and we know how we're way behind on infrastructure, and I just see it putting more houses, more traffic.
But my question, just to make it very clear though, but by moving to this R5, obviously, you're suggesting that you have no possibility of relying on septic? You have to be on sewers because of the size of that lot?
That's my understanding.
That's what I want to make very clear, because I'm a little confused. Are we suggesting that we can move to R5 and then decrease the size necessary to have a septic tank?
We have a minimum lot size of 3/4 of an acre for an on-site septic system. So if the lot is smaller than that, then we're not eligible for on-site, so it would have to be sewers, that property. There are a few exceptions. There are some, basically almost mini package plants, but they have to be approved by the state. So for properties that are smaller than 3/4 of an acre and don't have sewers, you can get an on-site system. It's incredibly expensive, so for these type of properties, because it's an affordability issue, I don't see how anyone would be able to afford that system, and it probably wouldn't work for that lot size anyway. You have to have enough space to, and each individual lot would have to have their own package plan.
Right.
In essence.
So in
I don't
essence,
see it being an issue in the county at all. I think it'd be feasible without
Okay.
sewers, just because of the lot sizes would qualify. We've had, in recent months, 2 variance requests for our Board of Health to go below the 3/4 acre, and they've both been denied. Our board is not interested in approving on-site systems if they're for a lot smaller than 3/4.
okay, perfect. That answered I just wanted to clarify, and that goes back to what you said, Brian. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna be relying on sewers, you're gonna fall within the city limits, you're gonna need to be required to be annexed, so, you know, there's no reason at all that we do anything, we just leave it, leave it up to the cities to make that determination.
Right.
But, if I was sitting on city council, I'd still look at it hard, if I'm in Mount Washington, to this particular one, I think it borders Jefferson County, and I'm talking out of my position here, but, I would think Mount Washington obviously would look at it pretty hard too, because of just the congestion there and some of the subdivisions already are super, super tight. I hate to, but I'm gonna drive by that one you're talking about. I like to see that to visualize, the spacing and so forth.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Tammy. Mayor, thank you for the discussion. Rob, Kevin, did you want to add? Are you good?
I think 10 feet, you have 2 feet between structures is pretty tight for fire safety issues.
Okay, and to help you, Kevin, Kevin Mooney. I'm sorry.
I'm not 100% sure this is the right time to ask this question, but I'll ask it just to put something in the public air. In these zonings that if we were to go to R5, we've already got R4 to 1, is it possible to have that the housing structure has to be defined within one county? That the physical home cannot be sitting on the line of Bullitt, Jefferson, Bullitt Spencer,
Yeah.
Bullitt Nelson.
Thank you.
Because of some election-related issues, I don't know if that's possible, but I'll ask it now just because.
Yeah, and if you look at that, Charlie, because we've spent a lot of inordinate time, especially across Jefferson County, even a little bit in Spencer. Especially, it's not only about the election, it's about the PVA as well.
And this is
So,
a city and a county issue. This is not like the septic.
all right,
This be in the county as well as in the city.
and it would benefit City of Hillview or Mount Washington as well.
Or not even just where that particular house sits, but, even take it a step further, we've got so many people like in Bullitt County and Mount Washington area that have Louisville addresses, but they're in Bullitt County.
Right.
And that doesn't make sense to me. If you're in the county, you should follow along with the city that's in that county.
We have houses that are physically in 2 counties, and the state board has given me some directions and clerks as a whole on what we're supposed to do. And it's gonna create some anger issues among the public when I finally have to
Right.
move and do something.
Yep.
And Kevin's not talking about the line just going through the lot, we're talking going through the house.
Yeah,
Right.
I would think it'd be 51%.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John. We do too, but anyway.
If you got 2
So-
bedrooms in Bullitt County, it's Bullitt. If the 2 is in Louisville.
Those kids could go to Bullitt.
There you
The
go.
other kids have to go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
your siblings are separated.
Okay, so, thank you, Charlie. The next one is, if we can move on now, the first reading public hearing is zoning ordinance 20, that's text amendment, planning 2528 by you, Charlie.
So it recently came to our attention that the fee schedule was supposed to be done by text amendment, same way that the R5 was done, and it looked like for several iterations it has not been done fully that way. It's been approved by the fiscal court, but not by everyone else. So since I had to do that, we looked at some of the fees to make some adjustments there to do it all at once. One of the things I always try to do is make things simpler, so I struck out the zoning amendment fees and made it a flat fee plus so much per acre, so it's much simpler and much more straightforward. The previous fee schedule was not proportional in any way, if you look at the breakouts. I did not propose raising permit fees except for additions, and the only reason I did that is to make it the same fee as a full bill. I did not propose to change the minimums on that, so most of those additions are gonna follow around the minimum anyhow, so there's no significant increase in that. And I did propose raising the administrative fees for site plans, variances, conditional uses as well. And I don't think the zoning map amendment, I don't think it had been touched for several iterations.
Okay. So we'll do a first reading on it, then vote on it the next time.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 25-28. An ordinance relating to text amendment 2025T-02, amending the fee schedule for certain applications and permits. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said text amendment, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed text amendment is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, the text amendment 2025T-02 attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as if set out in full is adopted. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 4th day of November 2025, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 18th day of November 2025.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Anyone here to speak for zoning ordinance 25-28? We just heard from Charlie. Anyone else? Anyone here to speak against zoning ordinance 25-28? Hearing or seeing none. Tammy, the resolution 25-13, the acknowledgement of the presence of telecommunications facilities in the county's right-of-ways.
And just by brief explanation,
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
contacted by the attorney for Kinetic ABS KY LLC. They have acquired Windstream.
Yeah.
So this isn't anything new happening, it's just Windstream is changing over to this new company.
Right, okay. Thank
Commonwealth
you.
of Kentucky, Bullitt County Fiscal Court, Resolution 25-13, a resolution acknowledging the presence of telecommunications facilities in the county's rights-of-way. Whereas telephone services have been provided to the residents of Bullitt County by Windstream Kinetic or its subsidiaries for many years, and whereas Unity Group Incorporated acquired Windstream Kinetic on August 1st, 2025, and whereas Unity Group Inc. has continued to pay the telecommunications tax to the Kentucky Department of Revenue as required by KRS 136.600 et sec, and whereas Unity Group Inc. plans to transfer the telecommunications assets it acquired from Windstream Kinetic into a company called Kinetic ABS KY LLC, and whereas the County of Bullitt has been assured that the transfer of assets will not have any impact on the quality of service, access, or customer support provided to customers in the County of Bullitt, and whereas Windstream has placed its facilities in the county's rights-of-way, having been authorized to do so, and whereas Kinetic ABS KY LLC wishes to continue to locate its facilities in the county's rights-of-way and continue to pay all telecommunications tax required by KRS 136.600 et sec. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Kentucky, Section 1, that the Fiscal Court of the County of Bullitt, Kentucky acknowledges that Kinetic ABS KY LLC will continue to locate its facilities within the county's rights-of-way, and that it may continue to do so for as long as Kinetic ABS KY LLC continues to pay any and all taxes required by KRS 136.600 et sec. Section 2, that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force when passed and recorded according to law. The privilege of Kinetic ABS KY LLC to remain in the county's rights-of-way is non-exclusive and may be revoked by superseding resolution or ordinance duly passed by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm going to put that in form of a motion to approve resolution 25-13.
Second.
And I have a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logston. Any other discussion, members? Sam, call the roll, please.
Johnson?
Yes.
Lamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, and thank you, Tammy. There in your packet, there's the property located that we discussed this. We'd like to put the bid notice out for the sale of the property at 295 North Buckman Street. Put out a bid notice in the Pioneer News for, I believe it's November the 13th.
It says on this Monday, December 1st, if I'm reading.
December 1st.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah, that's when we
This is-
accept it, but I mean, put it into the Pioneer News by the 13th.
Oh, please, Ryan.
I want to ask a question with Tammy. I mean, I'm a licensed professional auctioneer, and as an auctioneer and a real estate broker, I despise sealed bids. I feel like an auction, a publicly advertised auction, will bring far more than a sealed bid for the property, because,
You all, yeah.
and I could give you data after data, and I'm not suggesting me by any means to do the auction, and quite frankly, we could do our own auction. We own the property legally, you can do your own auction. But, in a sealed bid, so many people will submit an offer, but they don't have an opportunity to raise their offer. You only work the one offer, the highest offer. Most people hold back tremendously, because even though you say make your best offer, that's really not their best offer, because they have no benchmark to make an offer. But in an auction, you always have an opportunity to go back and raise your price, so you're getting the best of the best. I'm not a fan of sealed bids at all. On certain low-value things, I think it's appropriate, and it may not be a big deal. It may be just easier, but I think when it comes to real estate, I think we're leaving a considerable amount of money on the table, and I would say this to anybody, so I'd be remiss if I didn't speak up, that I'd like to look at the opportunity of possibly doing an auction, whether it's an online or a live auction. We can discuss, whether we put out a bid for who wants to do the auction, or we want to do it ourselves. But I truly believe an auction is the best way to create fair market value versus a sealed bid, because when you do a sealed bid, I just feel like you're leaving money on the table. I really do. I think with an auction, everybody has an opportunity to increase their bid. It creates a competitive situation. Sealed bid, if I asked everybody here to submit a bid, you're not going to submit the highest. You're going to hope your bid gets it, but you're going to be holding back. But I think with an auction, if you have an opportunity to continue to raise your bid, you're going to get the most. And I'm speaking of an auctioneer for 25 years. I've seen it done, but I just like to bring that up. I'm not trying to delay anything, but this is on the agenda today, and I was like, I'll just let it slide. But I just couldn't keep from speaking up, because I think we're leaving money on the table.
I'm glad you said that. I think it sounds very logical,
Yep.
common sense.
It sure does. And to help you, Sean, it's something we never even thought we could do. I do too.
It has to be, it needs to be competitive bidding, but as long as it's public. And you can publish when your bid is gonna, like when your auction's gonna be, and.
Because in a sealed bid, I'll be, if everybody here submitted a bid, you're gonna hold back. You're not gonna say, well, you know what, I could probably do 200,000. I'm gonna do 200,000. I wish Bruce was here. He's an auctioneer a long time. He would chime in on this one as well too, but I promise you, there's not one sealed bid that's gonna bring more money than an auction is, because everybody's, and then at the end of the day, nobody can point a finger and say, well, this person took this, they had insider information, it's public, it's transparent. If you wanna own that building, you be the last one with your hand in there, you be the last one that clicks the mouse. Now, there's pros and cons to online versus live, but I think it can be conducted live auction. And whether I do it or anybody else does it, I don't care to do it, no compensation at all. I don't know, I'd like Tammy to look into the legal aspect of that, but I would suggest a auction to sell the property versus a sealed bid, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents.
To me, that sounds reasonable and fair. Or Karen's going to second it, but
It sounds good to me.
What do you think, Brian? Okay.
Well, here's what I was kind of looking at, because we do reserve the right to accept or reject any or all bids. And I'm not saying that I'm a fan of sealed bids also, but what about if we have an appraisal and go ahead and have a reserve? I mean, you're in the auction business. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think an absolute auction is by far the best way to determine the fair market value. I think if anybody's interested in the property, they're going to show up. Now, with that being said, I would say also that I'm not reluctant to I'm speaking outside of fiscal court as a business owner, if I was trying to convince anybody else here, so let me take my hat off. I'm not resistant to doing a reserve auction. The statutes in Kentucky are every auction in Kentucky is considered an auction with reserve unless it's advertised as an absolute auction. So what that means is you can have an auction as long as it's not advertised absolute auction and it's subject to confirmation of the seller. It's subject to the fiscal court's approval. So you could definitely go forward with an auction subject to the fiscal court's approval. You just want to make it very clear to the public that the intent is to sell the property. And that's what I tell homeowners or I tell estates or people I'm dealing with. I don't have a problem doing an auction with reserve, The auction's gotta be, the reserve has to be obtainable, the reserve has to be realistic.
Fair
I
market.
don't necessarily know that an appraisal is necessary, because in my opinion, an auction is the truest appraisal. You could hire 5 different appraisals and appraisers, and you're gonna get 5 different appraisals. But if you do an auction, it's advertised effectively and done the right way, then I think that's what the property's worth that day. That's my opinion as an auctioneer and as a real estate broker. But with that being said, I think in my mind, an absolute auction is by far the best, but if you want to create some level of protection there, without a doubt, you can do an auction with reserve auction, subject confirmation of the seller, meaning that we're going to sell this property at auction, subject to fiscal court's approval, but you want to make sure that the public understands that there is every intent to sell this property, if that makes sense.
I'm just thinking, you know, we want to protect, just say it was bad weather or something, and, I mean, it could be on the internet and stuff too, I understand that. But a live auction, internet auction combined, whatever, if you make it absolute, is under my understanding, when the hammer falls, it's sold, you know, there's no question, so.
Yeah.
I just want to know kind of what, you know, I might think it's worth 100,000, somebody might think it's worth 500,000, so. So I can see your point on the appraisal, but I think we could get like a fair market value or something, or we just say on the same at the end, you know, we reserve the right to accept or reject it, any or all bids, you know, I don't know if you can announce that from.
Yeah, no, that's in the terms, as long as it's not advertised absolute, that's implied.
Yeah.
That you could, you know, that you are doing an auction of the property located in North Buckman Street, and it's implied in that point that it's subject to the acceptance of the seller. If you advertise absolute, then that's a different story. But, you know, if it's an auction, but it's no different than sealed bid. We can do this sealed bid, and you don't have to take one of the bids. But I think an auction gives everybody an opportunity to increase their price. I hate sealed bids because it puts you in a position like you don't want to give everything out of your wallet, but at the same time, you would love another chance at, like, you know what, if I could get another chance. With an auction, you get that other chance. It's the last person. That's just my opinion. We could talk about the details real quickly, you know, outside of court, how to sell it. We could, you know, Tammy can look into the details of like how we would do, we need to put it out for bid. We can do it ourselves. It's my understanding in the state of Kentucky, you know, if you own the property, you can legally do you don't have to have an auctioneer's license to sell your own property at auction in the state of Kentucky. Now, I don't know how that applies to government entities and stuff like that.
Let me check on that.
But even with that being said, I don't know even as a, you know, we can put it out for bid for an auctioneer to do it, or we can do it ourselves and we take no fee. I don't know the details, but if Tammy, we wanted to look at that the next couple of weeks before our next court, I'd really like to see it sold at auction versus a sealed bid. I think it would bring more money for the county.
Okay. That sounds reasonable, and I'll put in a form of motion to table this and explore our options with an auction. Got a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel. Sam, call the roll.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
I have a question about the property itself. Is it just the building and the parking lot, or is the lot next door to it part of the property? Is that the apartments?
No, it's not the apartments. It's just the building, that lot, and a little bit of the, where the people are grooming the animals. Right there, just out
They're
front.
grooming the animals too,
Not in our building, but next door.
but that is part of the property.
A little bit, well, right up next to their
Do
door.
that, okay.
Okay? No, it doesn't go back to the apartments. It ends literally almost right there at the end of the blacktop. Okay? Okay. Number 6, we need to adjust some payroll dates from November 27th to November 26th, and then also to accommodate Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, and we're moving it up to the Wednesday for payroll. And I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
Got a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 7, the same thing, to adjust the payroll date from Christmas Day, December 25th, to December 23rd to accommodate the Christmas thing. And I'll put that in the form of a motion as well.
I'll second.
Got a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Sanders.
Yes.
Loxton?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Fleenel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. New hires and promotion, Charlie or Janice or both of you, chat about this for a minute.
We would just like to, increase Jamie Key, she's the administrative assistant of the planning and zoning. Her current salary is $42,888 per year. We just want to bring that up to the current salary that's in the budget line item to $45,000 a year. Shannon's been here for 6 months and proven a very good valuable asset to the office, so.
Was that in the agreement when we hired her, that she would get a raise, or?
2 to 6 months, yeah, we told her that we would do an evaluation after 6 months, yes.
Looks like she was hired 5/23/24.
No, May, she was hired May of 25.
Wait, 5/12/25.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So it has been 6 months.
And like I said, the money's in there on that line item, so we're not going to anything. Just want to bring her up to what it is.
Is this one of the only positions that we kind of do that? Or, I mean, I know we've done it on, we've said it on, like, directors, you know, after 6 months. But like just a general employee after 6 months, they get a raise, or is it just the next budget?
We just didn't know how she was gonna, I don't know, honestly, work out on this one, so.
I'm not questioning her, I'm just saying like any employee, like an EMT or something, they don't get a raise after 6 months, right?
No, because it's, I mean, it's like a totally different job type, if that makes sense. It's hard to, set that up.
I don't know if this would help or not, but she was hired 5/12/25. We did not give her a raise when we gave the raises for 25/26. She got a 0%.
Right. Yeah.
There was no increase because she had just been hired.
Gotcha.
And we want to make sure that, she was a decent employee for those guys.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I put that in the form of a motion.
We want to make sure it takes effect in the payroll.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
After the 12.
Yep. Next payroll. Okay. So, Sam, call roll.
Loxton?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Fleenel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then I have one more. Chris Limp's here for y'all to meet Chris. He couldn't make the fiscal court meeting because he was respectively resigning from his other position. And Chris is the new director at EMS. And you all have any questions of Chris? Or Chris, you have any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris.
Okay. Brian, any comments, questions?
Yeah, so I have one. I had a constituent reach out to me. I'm looking up to make sure I have the name right. About the speed limit on Highway 61 from 245 to 251, which is Belmont Road, I believe.
Yep.
Said there had been 2 or 3 wrecks right there in the last month or a few weeks, and was wanting us to kind of look at the speed limit, just like we've done, you know, from 245 to Shepherdsville, and the one that we talked about out here. I know it takes a while, state road.
Right.
So I told her I would mention that in court, and we would see.
And I promise you we'll send a request to him, copy you and the rest of the court to look at the traffic for that area. Okay? That's down by Field of Grace too. Goes
Yeah,
past
yeah,
them.
it's
Yep.
about maybe a 2 mile street.
Right. Yeah.
Some of it's city of Shepherdsville on one side, some of it's county.
Yep. Okay. We sure will. Thank you, Brian. Karen?
Today would be a great day to go play pickleball in Hillview's new pickleball courts.
There you go.
So that was a grand opening yesterday, or ribbon cutting, I guess. So might have to go check that out afterwards.
Good deal. Thank you, Karen. Sean?
I'm good. Thank everybody for coming out today and on healthy conversations on a lot of important things, but I don't have anything else to add. Thanks a lot.
Vera?
No, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming today and hope to see you at the next meeting.
The only comments I have is don't forget Veterans Day. The courthouse will be closed. Kevin, y'all closed that day as well? Walt, where'd he go?
He's coming right back, he said.
Are y'all closed too?
It's a state holiday.
State holiday, just wanting to make sure.
Judicial center's closed, we're closed.
So everybody's closed here on the 11th. And I would like to thank Mayor Edens and Mayor Taylor for being here, along with our county clerk. I'm sorry Brian had to leave. But again, and Mr. Shelby for being here. And thank you all for participating. And I hope you have a great Veterans Day. And who?
Tara.
Oh, yeah, Tara's here. Yeah, Tara's here. And, yeah, I got Jim. Jim, jump right in here.
Just wanted to invite everyone to our holiday list.
Oh, good. Uh-huh.
We'll be open 11 to 7, or the 50-person business class. So it'll be a full meal. You can stop in and eat. Get the low plate.
And what's the day, Jim?
November 25th. Should be the Tuesday.
Got it. Got it. Okay. We'll bring an appetite. Thank you.
They said you can even have 2 meals.
Oh, really? That'd be good.
Why didn't you want 2? I guess to take one home to go.
Absolutely. Okay. So at this time, Vera?
Yes, it's 10:58, and I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion by First District Magistrate Sanders to adjourn at 10:58, seconded by 4th District Magistrate Blemo and Sam Culler. Roll, please.
Johnson?
Yes.
Blemo?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.